Okay, I think we are ready to go. Hey everybody, how we doing? Scott the Pedal Guy here. Pedal demos, pedal knowledge, pedal sales. I love pedals and so do you. Hope you are having a great week. Had a great week and you're going to have a great weekend. Um, as you can see, baseball started this week, so yay, because we love me some baseball for sure. How are you guys doing today? Everybody good? Give me a shout out. Let me know if you're out there, if you're alive, if you're kicking. I can see a lot of people are joining us here. So thanks everybody. Um, Excuse me if I am looking up here a bit. I just want to see what's going on as I'm making my final adjustments before we kick in, and then we'll go right to it here. So I can see we already have a few. We already have a few newbies here for us. Steve Barry, I can see you there in Facebook. How you doing? Welcome to the show. I hope you're having a great week, and looking forward to showing you what we do here at the Pedal Guy. And some frequent flyers here, like Raider. How you doing, Raider? Good to see you, my friend. Oh, Mr. Pedal Guy, Jorge. Oh, God, you're making me feel all official and everything. Is it Scott with two T's or one? That would be two T's. Yeah. So there's the answer to that question. Okay, what are the top three pedals every guitarist should have in their rig? Brand names. Whoa. Wow, Keith. Welcome to the show, and I'm gonna absolutely answer that question for you over the next hour or so, and we'll try to answer some of that stuff in real time. Well, the top three pedals. Well, I can take a crack at this now. I mean, it really is all subjective. The top three pedals for me are always a good overdrive. Andrew Collins, what's going on? Let's see. An overdrive is always a good option. I can't live without a reverb myself. And, um, you know, uh, what would the third one be? Well, some people might say a compressor, but I'm not down with using compression too much myself personally, because I don't want to kill the dynamics. I kind of think, I don't know, maybe a delay would be good for me, or maybe a chorus. I know choruses sometimes go in and out of fashion. Right now, they happen to be kind of in fashion, but I always love a good chorus. Child of the 80s, so chorus is one of those things you just gotta have. Okay, number one for Raider is his old Crybaby. That's also a good. That's also a good option too. You'd think I'd have a whole bunch of wah pedals, and I don't. It's one of those weird things. But anyway, let's get to the show here. So, if this is your first time to the weekly show, this is my weekly live stream here where I do. I do a topic. I talk about things that are happening. I do like a little demo, and then I try to answer people's questions in real time. Do it for about an hour, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit longer. It depends on how active the forums are here. If you're joining us on YouTube, thank you very much for subscribing and following. I hope you're doing that. Also, don't forget there's this neat little super chat feature on YouTube. So if you happen to feel a little saucy, that might be very well appreciated, because every little bit helps when you're an independent business owner. If you're on Facebook, welcome to the fun. I just shared out today's stream to several different groups, so we might have a nice poll today, and we'll answer some questions and all that. But typically what I like to do is I like to tell people what's happening here at the Pedal Guy, because things do change from week to week. There are new things always coming in. There are new revelations, and I'm here to share those with you. I'm also using, by the way, a new broadcast mic. So let me know if you like the sound or not, because I did get some feedback about the condenser that I was using, which is a CAD condenser. It's a fantastic microphone. But in the configuration I have it here currently, it hasn't really been working out all that well, because it's picking up way too many reflections. And the room has very high vaulted ceilings, so it's pretty hard for me to actually do anything about that without getting up there and putting a whole bunch of extra soundproofing in here, so I'm trying very hard to not do that and just to work on getting a better mic. I had a lav as well, and I'm not very happy with how that's coming along because it's been dropping out quite a bit when I do the videos. It's been a huge pain in the ass, so I've been kind of staying away from that. What else do we do? So I talk about things that are happening here at the Pedal Guy. I tell you about things that are going on. As the hour goes on, I might get a little loose-lipped and start sounding off some of the scandalous things that are happening in the pedal industry right now with different companies. I know I went on kind of a bender there with Behringer last week, but well, you all know how I feel about that whole thing. And I also answered people's questions, and I also do a demo. And today I'm going to be doing a demo with the PodGo, which I did a brand new video. The volume's a little low. I'll see what I can do about fixing that. Let's see here. I'll turn it up just a tad here and see if that helps. It's only as far as I can push this thing without it going too far because it is a dynamic mic. But there we go. All right. So, in any case, I'm seeing a very strong signal here in OBS, so it's got to be there too. But again, one never knows with streaming these days. But anyway, I've got the PodGo here, and I've got. I'm going to go through a few things on it, and get ready for this. Get ready for this. Get ready for this. I'm going to actually give you an opinion today, and I know that's going to blow people's minds, and I know there's going to be some followers out there that are going to have a total WTF moment here, because I typically try to not give opinions about things because I want you to have your own opinion, and that's what it is. Raider, just put $5 in the tip jar, dude. You rock, man, as always. Have you ever recorded the output of the Digitech Trio in Reaper? If so, does it sound good? I'm concerned the drums will sound flat and mono. Well, no. Actually, I haven't done any real recording into Reaper from there, but if I were to do it, bear with me, okay? And we'll get to that. Let me just say, I will actually get the Trio out here and I'll talk about the outputs a little bit and see if I can give you some tips and tricks on how to get the best out of that, okay? But you absolutely will get an answer. Oh, good. Okay, Andrew, I'm glad that sounds better. Thank you for letting me know. Andrew is new to the tribe, everybody, so let's welcome him. He is a new Pedal Guy customer, and he is going to be, hopefully today, the happy owner of a brand new Headrush rig. So you rock, dude. I hope you enjoy it. And there's a lot more Headrush stuff coming this year, so as far as new videos that I'm planning and things like that. So you got it, my friend. Can you bring World Beat samples to the Trio? Unfortunately, no, it doesn't work that way. I wish it did. I truly do. It's kind of a toughie to say why or why not, but there you have it. So let's see, guys on Facebook, how are we doing up there? I'm watching everybody here, and I've also got some screens down here as well. So if I'm looking up, it's not because I'm trying to ignore you or anything like that at all. But it's a good practice for multi-streaming. I have a whole bunch of fun here with doing this stuff. Well, Andrew, you are very welcome. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about a few things that are going on here at Pedal Guy. I want to tell you about things so that you know what is going on, because things do change from week to week, as you know. Hey, great. Hillbrook Guitar Studio, my first time watching this live. Welcome to the fun. So some things are happening. I'm sure you guys are keeping up to speed on everything that's going on with the Suez Canal and how much fun that has created for a lot of people that get their products from overseas through ships, and there are some delays that have been happening. Thankfully, I can tell you that a lot of the NewX products, that's not the case because those come from China to California, so there is no need to go through the Suez Canal, obviously. However, it is affecting other companies that have their warehouses on the East Coast. So if you're waiting for something that you've pre-ordered from us, just know that it is en route and will be here when it's here. Most importantly, one of those items is going to be Zoom. We are now officially a Zoom dealer. I'm so very excited to announce that here, to say that we've been absolutely 100% signed up. I'm just sending in the paperwork now, which is more of just a formality. But I've already put in an order for our first shipment of Zoom products, and I mean, I think we're going to have a good time with them. They've been very, very picky about who they open up as a dealer, and I'm so honored to be a part of that. See, Ike said, WTF, WTF, does that help? Yeah! Oh, I mean, yeah! I mean, oh! Oh, yeah, we'll have a little fun. Sorry, Saturday we let our hair down and just, have fun. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. So, with that said, we are going to have a new brand here very soon, which will be Zoom. And you guys have already watched one of the videos I did on the VL6, which is a vocal processor. The VL3 is a smaller vocal processor, and that's coming. But of course, I'm bringing in the guitar processors. I'm bringing in the little guitar pedals. They make some really great acoustic pedals, by the way. Really jazzed about that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And what else am I bringing in from them? The recorders, obviously. A lot of people want the recorders because they do make some of the best ones out there. I go way back in my fascination with Zoom, all the way back to when it was just that little guitar processor that you put on your strap. Does anybody remember that? Give us a shout out if you remember that one. In fact, I remember the ad because it was Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi, well, formerly of Bon Jovi now because he's not there anymore. But he was doing that thing with the cowboy hat, and he had his guitar strap going down, and he had the little processor there on his strap, and I thought that looked so cool. So I figured, what the hell, why not? Let's get into Zoom, and since they're picky about bringing it, they're bringing stepping away for a minute. Oh, okay, I got you. All right. In any case, the Zoom stuff is going to be great. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and there'll obviously be a ton of demos because this is the pedal guy. I do demos. I'm a dealer, but I do demos. But again, just to prove to you guys, I buy the products before I bring them in. So when you get a video from the pedal guy, it's going to have. I follow some very strict guidelines on those kind of things because I don't mess around and start, doing the pay to play sort of situation. Because if anything, I've been the one that's been paying to play. So I'm going to be, as objective as possible because everybody is going to get something different out of it. I take this pedal for example. We're going to talk about this in a few minutes, and the PodGo is great. It's fun. And I have some opinions about it that I want to share that you may or may not agree with me, and that's okay. You don't have to, but I figure it's probably, a good time to talk about that. Because now we're getting into line 6 now. But anyway, I do want to talk about 2 other things very, very quickly, and I will make it fast. One is that there are price increases coming, and we experienced some of that this week. I didn't know if it was an April Fool's joke, but it wasn't. Headrush did raise the price on both of the FR monitors. So the 108 went up by $10. Was it $10? Yeah, like $10. And the 112 went up by quite a bit more. So I just want to let you guys know that there are more price changes, more price increases on the horizon. So if you've been thinking about buying some of the more expensive stuff, you really should start thinking about it a little more frequently right now, because there's a very good chance that many products outside of the 2 brands that I'm thinking of right now, because Headrush already made their price adjustment. There's no adjustments to the other 2 boards, the other 3 boards. And NUX is the other one. Sorry to say, but a lot of NUX products are going to have probably a 10% increase I think. It really depends on what the situation is over there, because there is a very large shortage of raw materials right now, and that is absolutely adding to the problem. And unfortunately, these tariffs, I thought maybe there was a chance that we would be getting rid of them because they make 0 sense for us as a country. But, and this isn't political, this is just economical now. It's hurting businesses in this country when that thing happens. And, well, it's not. So we're kind of boned at the moment on that. So we're kind of getting a double whammy, and this is all due, the second part of this is mostly due to shortages because of COVID and because of a large fire that decimated a plant that makes the microchips that a lot of the companies depend on. So thus, there will be some price increases. So if you have been thinking about it, I would say don't think about it too long, and pick it up, because I don't want you getting any hurt feelings. Okay, so yeah, it's been a little rough time for everybody. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I got a couple of quick questions here from people, and then I'll get to the other thing I want to talk about here real quick. Okay, does that one have Bluetooth? Andrew, do you mean which one has Bluetooth? If you could specify, please, that would be appreciated. Raider, it's going to be a rough year. I've been following the GPU market closely. Things are rough right now. Yep, they are indeed. I've had some offline discussions with a few other manufacturers. We're going to have a toughie, guys. I don't know how else to say it. We're going to have a tough year a little bit there. There's going to be some tough ones, some moments, some hurdles to jump, and it sucks. And I wish there was something else I could say about it that would make people feel better, but we're going to have some adjustments to this marketplace. So be ready for that, and think about those purchases you want to make. Keep an eye on it. Keep in communication with me. You guys know how to get a hold of me, and I'm more than happy to, help you out in any way that I can. Okay, so just know that that's something. Okay, now one other thing, because I wanted to talk. Oh, the PodGo. The PodGo does have a wireless option, Andrew. It's called the Podgo Wireless. It's a different one. The one I'm looking at here, this one is $479.99. The other one is a bit more expensive. So the wireless option is a bit more expensive. However, if you want to go wireless with that headrush you just got, the B5RC from Nuix might be a really good solution for you. So send me an email about it, and I'll let you know. In fact, I even have a couple of B-stock units that I'm going to be offering up at a pretty steep discount, because they have a couple of little scratches on them, but they come with a full warranty. So it's a good time to get it up, get those kind of products going. Anyway, okay, let's talk about something. So a lot of people have asked about this pedal lately, because people are looking for power supply solutions, and the Octopus has recently been discontinued in the last couple of months, and so customers have been asking, hey, can I still buy this pedal? And the cool thing about this pedal, and I do have a good answer for you, by the way, the good thing about this pedal is that it's got 8 power outputs on each side. It's got 3 on each side that are 100 milliamps each, and it's got 1 on each side that are 500 milliamp each. In addition to that, it's also a chromatic tuner. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with this product. And we were selling them hand over fist, and we were doing actually really well with them, because I think I was one of the only people that, got it about what this thing does. But then they discontinued it. However, I have a solution, which we've had for some time, but I wanted to take a closer look at it, which is the Iron Horse. And the Iron Horse is by a company called Outlaw Effects, and they make some really amazing little micro pedals. And they make this pedal board called the Nomad, which is fantastic because it's battery operated. But here, I'll put them side by side, and you can see that the Iron Horse is actually quite a bit thinner. If you lift both of them, this one has a bit more weight to it, and it's a pretty good pedal, in fact. And it does have the same inputs and outputs. So it's got the 500 milliamp power, and it's got the 100 milliamp and on each side, and it does come with all of the cables. and it's under 80 bucks. So it's a great deal actually. And it's also got a really nice tuner as well. The foot switch, I think this foot switch is actually a little bit better. I like the foot switch with an actual click to it. That way I really do know if it's turned on or not. It's a very robust little pedal. So I've got these in stock. So if you guys are looking for those kind of solutions for your board, this is great because it saves you the trouble of having a power supply and a separate tuner on your board. You can just have all in one and just run the power cables underneath the board and route it around. So that's one you might want to check out. But in any case, there you have it. Okay, so let's move over here. Let's move over here to the line 6 PodGo here. So this might get a little noisy, so sorry about that. That's one of the things about this broadcast mic that I'm not that crazy about, is that any noise from the springs here on my mic stand kind of creates a problem. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of fabric up the sides there, the springs there, to try to deaden that sound. That's one of the problems about when you buy the bargain mic stands from Amazon. I guess you're going to get what you get, right? Anyway, all right. So I did a demo yesterday. I released it wasn't really a demo. It was more of a review on the new amps and effects that are in the PodGo. I was about to do the video on the PodGo, and then that update came out, and that kind of threw me for a loop. So I decided that it was probably more worth my time to go over the presets more than anything, the new features of the firmware. But it also gave me a really good opportunity to look at this product and really work with it a little bit and start getting into it, because ever since the pedal guy started, and the Head Rush was the first pedal board that I really got behind here at Pedal Guy, mainly because because I had a long-standing history within music brands, and they wanted to go out on the right foot, and I wanted to help them go out on the right foot. And so I figured, instead of going for the most high commodity brand, which was the Line 6, it's so saturated, this market, for this brand. I just felt that it wasn't really the best option for me at the time. So I opted to go elsewhere and go with the Line 6 and with the Head Rush, and get behind that brand. And I think that's paid off nicely. A lot of my videos are still really well received and well thought of, and I get a lot of great feedback on those things. So, thank you for that. But eventually it was time for us to start looking at these other brands and start bringing them in, because a lot of people kept asking about it. And obviously the Helix was a big question. People asking about the Helix quite a bit. And I didn't want to get into it at that time. I just didn't feel it was the right time to do it, mainly because I had made my bed and worked with Head Rush, and I was still sussing out everything for the Pedal Guy and working on a direction for the brand, and I'm building the brand. We're going back, almost 5 years ago now at this point. So it felt now like the right time to sit down with Line 6 and really start to get to know this. And so you guys know, and so I can be completely transparent about it with you, because I think that's important for anybody you watch on these streams. I think it's important. I am a user of Line 6 products and have been for, I hate to say it now, but for decades. I've been using them since the 90s. I have a pod, one of the original pods, that was upgraded to a 2.0. You had to replace the little EEPROM chip physically and put that in. But I have been a long time Line 6 user. I have a couple of Variaxes back here. I've got the acoustic Variax, one of the first electric Variaxes. Not a big fan of that guitar, but the acoustic Variax is amazing. And I've helped them out quite a bit in parts of my career. There was a time where I actually was going to work for them, because I had I had written a book on the program Reason, and Line 6 was Line 6 was the distributor of that product and that brand at the time of Propeller Head software. So there was a time where I was actually going to go work for him, but it didn't end up working out that way. So I just didn't feel it was the right move at the right time. So I didn't bother. So now, fast forward to today, I got a chance to look at Line 6 here and, look at the PodGo. And I'm going to be completely honest with you about this for a second. So I'm going to share a couple of opinions about it. So there you go. There's where the WTF comes in, because normally I don't share opinions about this. And I'll put on the guitar in a second, and I'll show you some examples of what I like about it. Let me say though that the pros do outweigh the cons by quite a long shot. I've been rehearsing this all week to say this, so I made sure I wanted to say it correctly, by the way. But I found 3 things that really do not rub me the right way with the PodGo. What I do want to, and there is a 4th thing, which is this is not a replacement for the Helix. And this is absolutely in no way a replacement for the Head Rush. I think if you were to put this up against the Head Rush, frankly, I would choose the Head Rush. That's my honest opinion. Okay, that's not my opinion of. That's not some sort of paid opinion or anything like that at all. I would just say that I would choose the Head Rush over the PodGo, but also keeping in mind that a $999 product and a $479 product, there's going to be a remarkable difference in the quality, in the feature set, and all that. The proper toe-to-toe comparison would be the Helix against the Head Rush, and we will do that at some point in the near future. But looking at the PodGo, what I like about it is you get a lot of bang for the buck inside of this product. The footprint is really great. I like the footprint of this product because it's big, it's very sturdy, and I like the size of the foot pedal. I like the ease of the pedal. I like the fact that there is an Allen key that's included so that you can change the feeling of the expression pedal. And I think, if you're familiar with Line 6 pods, this should be an easy way to transition because it's the exact same thing. A, B, C, D, and you bank up and down. So if you've ever used a pod, this will make complete sense. Okay, so there's that. I think the sound quality is really great, although there's a caveat to that. There's a good reason for that. And I think that it's pretty well thought out as a product goes. This is a product that I would feel comfortable taking on stage because it's built that sturdy that I would feel good about that. So that's the good. Let's talk about let's talk about a couple other things that are good. Another thing that's good about it is the fact that there's a lot of empty banks that are available for you right off the bat where you can build your own presets really fast. And also there is a software editor. Okay, but there's a pro and a con on that point, and I will get to that in a second. So let's talk about the 3 things I don't care for about the product that aren't deal breakers. Keep in mind, these aren't deal breakers, but these aren't deal breakers, but these are simply my observations about the product and things about the product. Okay. One is I do not care for some of the presets in this. I think they sound very uninspired in some ways. The artist ones are the ones that I really am picking on the most here. I think the presets sound very uninspired and they don't sound what I would like them to sound like. Take, for example, the U2 preset, Streets Have No Name. Obviously, it's a namesake for the song, which is a particular favorite of mine. Now, understanding that I believe The Edge used a Strat when he recorded that, please correct me if you happen to know. How you doing there, Major Upgrade? Good to see you, my friend. I think the presets on that particular preset really rubbed me the wrong way. And I say that with a little more enhanced disappointment, and I'll tell you why. Because years and years ago, back when I was still in the budding stages of my career, I was writing books and I was writing reviews, and I wrote a review for the original tone port. I don't know if you guys ever used that. Not the tabletop thing. The you know I'm talking. Well, it was a tabletop, but it was a completely fugly piece of gear, but it sounded amazing. Um, I used that, and I was blown away by how it sounded because I had a Telecaster. I called up the Cliffs of Dover patch, and it sounded like Eric friggin' Johnson. I can't play like Eric friggin' Johnson because there is only one Eric Johnson. But it sounded amazing, and I was totally blown away by that. And now on the PodGo, they have one called Trademark, which I'm assuming is named after the Eric Johnson patch, and I thought it sounded really tame. And I think they kind of phoned it in a little bit. That bothered me a little bit. So I figured, right thing to do is share that and let you know what I think at least about it. The other thing that I think was kind of wrong is the jazz chorus amp. I don't think that sounds anything like a jazz chorus. Just my opinion, but I've listened to enough modelers at this point that the jazz chorus is kind of a sacred amp to me, because so many companies make a jazz chorus amp, and the jazz chorus has always been known for being a high output but very clean amp. Like, it was very hard to overdrive it unless you really wanted to do it. And this one, I was able to do it in under a minute, easily, with right from the default settings. And that kind of bothered me a little bit. So the third thing is, and I'll go to another screen because I come prepared for my demos, is this bad boy. Okay, so remember how I said there was a yes and no to the there's a yes and no to the whole editor thing. Okay, what you're looking at right now is you're looking at the editor for the Line 6 pod, and I have to tell you that this editor is very powerful and at the same time very confusing, and at the same time very hard to not get lost in the weeds. I found when I was trying to create some presets for my video, for yesterday's video, I was like just going nuts trying to figure it out because it was you get so far into the weeds so quickly with it. It's not a bad idea at all. And if you want to give it the time, I'm not saying it's a bad solution, but just be ready for the fact that you will be looking at doing some work here. But given like the GUI of like say the NUX MG30 and the MG300 in QuickTone, I think that QuickTone looks so much better because everything looks like a pedal. And I can't for the life of me figure out if this has it or not. I don't think it does, but I don't think there's a way to like change it to you can change it to the GUI of an actual pedal. And my point is, why not make this look like a pedal? The GUI down here look like a pedal. It really bothers me a little bit that it doesn't do that, right? But at the same time, it's an editor, and I know where everything came from because I used let's see, on the pod, the original pod, it only had MIDI in and out, and you had to use system exclusive messages. I don't know if you've ever had to write hexadecimal before, but it is a pain in the ass. And I can tell you that it does not bode well for anybody who wants to explore. But when it comes to this editor, I think they could have done a little bit more here. When I look at something like GarageBand, right? Now I know I'm comparing it to a GarageBand, okay? So don't worry, don't be hating. But if the GarageBand GUI at least looks like a friggin' pedal, and I'm like, why couldn't you make it look like a pedal, guys? It's not such a big deal, but let me give you an example here. Let me give you an example. Okay, the glitch. Okay, the glitch preset, this glitch delay, is a pretty complicated. It's a pretty complicated delay, and were they to just create like a GUI for this that made it look more like a pedal, I think it would be kind of a little more popular. I think that's just my opinion, though. Again, this is. I want to make sure that I'm saying this correctly. It does not. It's not a deal breaker for me. Okay, I would still buy this product because of the sound quality of the product. But you have to understand that it does take time. And so for all the people that have been complaining about HeadRush not having a software editor, well, this is the exact reason why they don't do one. I think because this is kind of hard to navigate. I'm betting money that if they were to come up with a software editor, that's exactly what it would look like. Maybe they will have one day. I don't know. I personally don't think they need one. I like actually building everything from the touchscreen. When I build that stuff, it looks good on camera. It looks good in the videos. It just makes it look really interactive and fun. And I think that that's a lot more fun. When I look at this editor, it doesn't do that for me. That's not to say, again, that it's a deal breaker, but just keep in mind that you will have to do that. Now, another thing, though, to keep in mind is that you can do it all from here if you want to. You can do it all from this little screen. It's not touch screen. That's kind of a weird one for this price point. You would think that they would do that. However, maybe that's not the most important thing in the world. Maybe they focused more on how many amps they put into this thing, because they did put a lot of amps. And I have to tell you, the rectifiers, the mesas, which they've always been known for, Line 6 has always been known for their quality rectifier models. Sound amazing. And the Princeton amp that they just included in this new version, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to play a few of those in a second here. But let's take a look here. We got a few questions here. So let's even knock a couple of these out, and then I'll go to it, Eric. So Major Upgrade wrote, so if I have like $500, one, best bang for the buck for multi effects with good effects. Two, can I make this into a fly rig with a combo amp, or should I go with something like the FRFR speaker? Okay, Major, so you're asking for a friend. You know what? Everybody always says that when they're looking for medical advice. I have this friend that has $500 to spend. I'm just kidding. Okay. Would the Line 6 be a good fly rig? Yeah. Simply put, it would be a good fly rig. An easy one to use. It's got great multi effects. And yes, you can use it with a combo amp. It actually has an amp output, and that's going to be another video that I'll be exploring that topic pretty soon. But it's not a there's no need to have a combo amp with it. You could just take a FRFR 108, and that'll get you there anyway. Or you can go straight to the board. You can go straight to front of house. You don't even need to do that because all the amp modeling is built in here, and you just basically have to turn off the cabinet emulation if you're going to a combo amp, because you can do that if you want to. That's another option. So I hope that answered the question. I know that kind of jumped around a little bit. Looks hard to operate. Well, Andrew, that's why I made the point of saying it. So yeah, I don't think it's hard to operate it too much, but I think if you were to take a look at this versus, say, a HeadRush, well, why do 2 dimes and a nickel make a quarter, right? Bottom line, I'm in IT, but I don't want to F around with the PC. I want to play guitar. There you go, my friend. It should look more like Bias FX2, and I'd be happier. I agree, and I think Line 6 should do that. Should make an investment into a GUI that looks a little better. But why don't I stop talking about that? And let's have a listen to some of the things that I got here. I will say, to be fair, the acoustic simulator here is pretty darn sweet. I have to say, I'm pretty happy with the way that sounds. Let's see here. I know you can't hear anything yet. I haven't switched scenes, so let's switch scenes. Hey, there we are. Okay, I haven't put my headphones on yet, so if that sounds a little loud. geez, I forgot I'm. I totally forgot I'm on the glitch delay. That'll just mess anybody up. Let's turn that down a little bit. Actually, this is another thing that I do like about it. I do like the look of the tuner. I must say I do like the look of the tuner. That part does look good. Obviously, we're gonna have a little bit of fun with the looper as well. Which the way they do the looper in this is a little different than what I'm used to, but still not anything that would turn me off of the product. I also want to say while I'm doing this, I do vet these products before I start really getting behind them. So before I bring them into the store, because look, and I've said this before on the show, when I bring in a product that's questionable. When I bring in a product that's questionable, it does tend to bite me in the ass later because a lot of those things will come back as boomerangs, and I don't want that. So that's why I don't really do anything like that. I'm real careful about those kind of things. Meaning I don't bring in a product that I know is going to be a boomerang, because it doesn't help you. It doesn't help me. And it's I want to get behind products that I know are going to be hits right out of the gate. So just know that as kind of a testament to why I chose to do this as well. Let's see. Whoop, there we go. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of these guys here. So the Prince. This is based on the Princeton amp. Can you guys hear me out there? Okay. Let me know if you can hear if there's any audio problems on your side there. Okay. Sometimes I get a little bit of sass from my B string here. Well, I know there's a bad joke in there somewhere, but I won't say anything. All right, let's take a look here. I'm actually going to switch views, and I'm going to go to the editor so you can see things here. And I'm going to have a little bit of fun with some of the settings here. So this is the Princess amp. If you know, there's a whole bunch of amps in this product, and I think that's one of the great things about it, of course, is look how many amps you get. This is a ridiculous amount of amps. Bass amps, electric amps, and the Princess is based on a classic Fender amp. So let's do a little bit of just. By the way, also notice one thing in this rig, in this Pod No-Go. That's funny, Jim. That's really funny. Want to notice one thing here. I'm not using an equalizer. Okay, great. So an acoustic. I'll play an acoustic preset here in a second because there is an acoustic simulator in here, Major. Let me take a look here. Okay, so notice that. You know what I realized? Got a little too much reverb in the mix there. Sorry about that. I just do that to make it sound a little more fun here on my side. Anyway, so notice that I'm not using an equalizer here. And the reason I'm not using it is because this is where I'm going to probably go off the reservation. I like to use the, I'm not sure what you're asking for, Mike. Could you specify? Just acoustic audio? Blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look here. Let's see. I'm just making a couple of changes here, guys. Sorry. Bear with. boom, ba, boom. Okay. All right. Are you still not getting any sound over there? Oh, you can't hear my guitar. That's the problem. Okay. Let's see if there's anything I can do. Well, shit. Let's see if I can fix that problem without having to restart. Because if I do, that's gonna be a problem. Okay, that works. Okay, I made an adjustment in OBS. That's what happened. All right, I figured out what happened there. So I use this program called OBS, and sometimes it's a little bitchy. I'm a big Huey Lewis in the news fan, so there you have it. Okay, so wow, back to our regularly scheduled program here. So when I'm designing a preset, I tend to not use an EQ pedal in the beginning. And the reason I don't is because first of all, I try to get a good sound out of the amp first. And there's two places where you're going to make changes in a modeler. One is obviously going to be the amp model itself. So we could take the bass and crank that a little bit. Okay, so there's one place we can make an adjustment. The other place we can make an adjustment is on the cabinet. Okay, and obviously it's got a low cut and a high cut, and that is one thing you can do. He's getting delay on our content. Yeah, on our comments. Well, yeah, that's what live streaming is all about. Okay, but there's about a 10 to 15 second delay, I think, in what you're seeing. But here's where the other part of equalization comes from. It comes from the microphone. I mean, look how many microphones you've got here, and it will make a significant difference depending on which mic you're using. So what I can do is, if I go to the 57 dynamic, see that rolled off the high end a little bit. Now we got a little more bass with the 30 dynamic. Now we got a lot more bass with the 20 dynamic. But with the Royer Ribbon 121, we get even a better sound. We get a different sound, a completely different sound than the 160 ribbon. More bass. A little less bass. Okay, and by the way, what I'm showing you here is absolutely reproducible on a head rush or on an MG30. So don't worry, Andrew, I got you back on this one. Then when we get into the condenser microphones, you're going to get a totally different sound. So what I'm trying to say here is that I use the microphone as an equalizer of sorts. And I do all of that before I even consider using an EQ pedal. There's a lot of people who just go for the EQ pedal and say, okay, well, F it, this is the way I'm going. And I don't do that. I typically use the amp and the cabinet. And then I start playing with things like distance. Let's take it all the way out here. Let's see, or early reflections. That's one that I really like. So. So let's see, if I take Let's say I change the microphone. Let's go to maybe another dynamic. Let's go to a 7 dynamic. I actually like the early reflections on this because I get kind of a Keith Richards sort of sound. So if I wanted to play, like Shatters. If I really wanted to add to that, go over here to like say modulation and add, I don't know, a little bit of phasing perhaps, or chorusing. Let's try a 70s chorus. If you wanted to get like kind of a Rush vibe out of this, you could. So basically what I'm getting at is that this is it's a good sounding amp. I like that one. But what really blew me away, let me get over to the Benzene here. This one sounds just really cool. So you see what I mean? Really punchy. I mean, it does have a lot to it. If you really want to thicken it up, you can, if you're playing on the A string, you want to thicken it up, you can always use the low E if you want. Sorry, I have a whammy bar, so I have to dive bomb. I'm an LA guy after all, so if you're gonna play, Van Halen type stuff, let's see. What else? So that one sounds really good, and there's 2 instances of the Benzene, which is based on a diesel VH4. They have the lead, which sounds a bit different. Let's see here. The lead, there we go. The Benzene lead. Playing isn't quite up to snuff today. And there's definitely a reason why I don't play speed metal. Haven't been able to play like that since the 90s. So there you have it. Okay, the acoustic simulator though. This one sounds really nice. Really, really nice. So that is a tremendous sounding acoustic simulator. Honestly, if Line 6 botched that one up, I would be so up there keister sideways. You have no idea, because after playing the acoustic Variax, if they can't get an acoustic simulator sounding right inside of this, I would have been pretty pissed off. But frankly, in this case, I think they just knocked it out of the park. It's so easy to use. The Headrush also has an acoustic simulator that just came out, and I think you get a great result with that too. But I was very impressed with the way this sounded. Actually, we should try that sometime. What do you guys think? Should I do a video to to compare a couple of acoustic simulators in these modelers. What do you think? Give me a shout out. Let me know if you think you'd want to watch something like that. Ike, welcome back to the fun. Oh, but then let's see. Let's go up one. Go to the acoustic sweep. This acoustic sweep delay. This is one that's pretty hard to put down. I mean, it's like Pink Floyd. Or if you try like Welcome to the Machine. What do you think of that? The fuzz, they have a new fuzz. They have 3 new fuzzes. There's your Jimmy tone for you. And then the glitch. Now the glitch is a really hard one to talk. Is really hard to describe because it's like a delay on a sequencer. So you get a reverse. You get octaves on top of that. So you can really make some twisted stuff out of this. Go to a delayed division. You can take the feedback up a little bit. Where it really starts wanking out is right here in octaves. You bring the note sync up a bit, like go say a quarter dotted. You can shuffle it. You can do a sequence drift. There is a slicer in there. Yes, there is. You can smooth it out a little bit. All right, so if you happen to be like a Robert Fripp fan, that might be fun for you. So let's see. That's kind of all I really wanted to review here a little bit. I'm going to do obviously a few videos on the PodGo, and I will talk about it. And I will try to make some different videos that will stand out a little bit from the rest of what I've seen out there, because that's the other thing about getting into this product is that there are so many people that do videos on this. There's so many people that have done videos on the PodGo and then the Helix. And I have an HX Stomp here, by the way, too, and I will get to that too. But that's another one of those things. It's just so many videos out there, and I just don't need to do a Me Too video. I'd rather do something that's a bit different. So let's take this opportunity and look at a few of the comments here. So let me get this thing off me. All right. You know what really sucks about watching baseball in this state, in this city, is that if you don't have Time Warner cable, you don't even get a chance to watch it. You've got to, unless you've got Time Warner cable, you got to pay out the nose. And let's just say LA fans, we should say something to the Dodgers at this point. Magic Johnson, you got to be listening, man. You got to be listening. Let's see here. Okay, so let me kick out a couple of questions here real quick. Sorry, I'm still learning to use this mic stand here a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, I would watch the acoustic sim shootout. Okay, I think that we can do something like that and accommodate you. I think we'll have a good time with it, frankly. The acoustic simulator, I think we should listen to both of them. And so you guys know, I'm not going to give you my opinion at the end of the day. I'm going to let you make the decision, okay? So just so you are in the know, that's how I do my pedal versus pedal when I talk about those kind of things. So just keep that in mind, okay? People on the manufacturing side tend to get a little pissed off at us dealers when we actually have an opinion. So we have to be a little careful about those kind of things. Okay, so major upgrade to watch that. I'm glad you would watch that. Let's see. Can you do? Let's see. Can you do a video soon of this coming out of an FR straight into a combo amp versus straight into a combo amp? That's an interesting opportunity. I can do something like that probably. Here's the challenge. In that one, Major. The challenge is I'm going to use, whenever I mic something up and I do a demo with it, I tend to get different results that from people, because everybody's got their own way of doing, everybody's got their own way of miking up a cabinet. Now, typically what I do is I've got like a vocal isolator, and I put that in a horseshoe configuration around the amp. And that is typically how I do it. And sometimes that gets mixed results. So happy to look at doing that. I also have to schedule some time to actually shoot that video because I do everything here from the house. And my better half on the other side of this wall is doing therapy sessions during the day. So I do have to be a little careful about that. But I think that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. I hear it can sound like crap into a combo. Well, that I don't know yet. I haven't used it into a combo, so I will have to look into that. Now, there could be some reasons why that's happening. One reason could be because the cabinet wasn't turned off, or they're going into the wrong input on the amp. And those are two major issues right there, because if you are going into the front of the amp, if you don't turn off the cabinet simulation and you're going right into the front of the amp, you're going to have a tough time getting a good sound out of that. It just won't happen. The best thing to do is if you want to go to the front of the amp, that's fine. Turn the cabinet simulation off. And if you really need to, turn the amp simulation off too. However, what's the point of having something like this if you don't use the amp sims, right? So here's what you do, okay? So tune in on this one. What you do is you go through the back of the amp into the effects return. Just bypass all the preamp bullshit and the EQ and all that stuff from the amp, and just use the power amp section of it. Let the line 6 do the driving as far as all that goes, and that way you can use the amp simulation, and you can experiment with the cab simulation. But just keep in mind, those are a couple ways I would use it, and I'm willing to bet money that people who have said it sounds like crap probably didn't use it the right way to begin with. I can even say to some degree that when I do that with when I did that with the MGs, with the MG30, when I did a video on how to use it with an amp, when I did it with the head rush on how to use an amp, people were surprised that you could get such a good sound out of that. It's like, yeah, because you have to read the instructions on how all that works and understand how an amp works. That you have a preamp, EQ, power amp. And in between that, you have an effects loop, which bypasses the preamp and the EQ in most cases. So if you use the effects send, that solves half your problems right there. But again, it's all beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and you just have to do a little bit of experimentation here. Okay, so can I demo the looper? Yep. I can definitely do a demo video for the looper. I think that's something we need to do because it is quite a bit different. Um, let's see what happened here. Looper. Let me go to a blank one here. Okay, and let's take a look. Here's the looper. Here's what it looks like. So you have a 6-switch mono looper, 1-switch mono looper, 6-switch stereo looper. Okay, so that's pretty nice looking right there. But see what I mean? Now we get in here, and yeah, that can start being a little annoying. But I mean, again, you should be able to figure it out. If you use like a Ditto, that's kind of what these are. That's what they look like to me, as far as how it looks. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. There we go. So yeah, there's the demo. There's the looper right there. It looks like a Ditto. 4 incarnations of the Ditto looper. So yeah, it's something that I'll definitely look into doing because I think it's time to probably it's time to do a whole library of videos on that product. Raider, I want to answer your question too because I know you had a question about the trio. I want to get to that in a second here. Okay, Ike wrote something. In my past life, I have written GUIs. If they cannot do a slide bar, if they can do a slide bar, they can do knobs. Yeah, I know they can do that. However, they might have wanted consistency across dense info screens like Glitch. You know, you could be right. You're probably right on that point, Ike. That's not a bad point at all. I think it's just, why not just give people a choice? And if they can do that, then I think all the better. It just adds more fuel to the flames. Andrew, my pedal board just arrived. Thank you again. How about that, people? He got his head rush all in time. So Andrew, do yourself a favor. Watch my videos on how to use the head rush right from the get-go, and you'll be up and running in no time. And Major Upgrade writes, yeah, I have to find a combo with an effects loop. Mine doesn't have it. Most amps do, most combos do have it. There are a few out there that don't. Like the orange amp you see over there, that doesn't have it. So when I do demos of the effects loop, I tend to use the Sidekick Reverb. I have an old Sidekick Reverb from the 80s. It's my very first amp, and I still use it to this day. So how about them apples? Let's see what's going on here. Oh boy, just the fit is hitting the shan, people. I'm getting orders here, so it's kind of crazy. Okay, so Raider, I want to answer your question about the trio here for a second. So Raider asked a question just a minute ago about trying to record the bass and the drums into the looper. So here's what I would say, or into a product like Reaper. So sorry if that's a little loud there. So here's my advice, okay? You have a couple of, this is going to require a little bit of fun. So you're going to have to, you're going to probably have to be creative in how you execute this. But old combos do not have it. Well, mine's a pretty old combo. It does. But my my Sidekick Reverb is over 30 years old, and it has an effects loop in there. It also has a great spring reverb, which nobody makes those anymore in amps. I'm sure they do. It's just, I never see them in the cheap amps anymore. So you have on the trio, you've got the amp output and the mixer output. And the mixer output is where your drums and your bass will go out. So what you can do to make the drums sound better is you can use the headphone output of the Trio Plus, and what you would do is you would just use a stereo 1/8 inch to 2 mono 1/4 inches that are going into your audio interface, and just simply turn the bass all the way down. So all you're hearing is, and make sure you turn the looper all the way down as well. So that way you're just hearing the drums, and you're going to hear the drums at that point in a stereo configuration. I think that'll probably make your recording sound a little better. But I'll have to actually look at that because I think that might not be a bad idea to give that a shot. Um, Now the trick here, of course, is that the the Trio Plus doesn't have like MIDI syncing or anything like that at all. So it's going to take some experimentation, and it's probably going to take a little bit of shuffling around of the tracks to get them to sync up properly. But you could do it in multiple passes if you wanted to. It's going to take a little bit of experimentation and probably a little bit of knowledge on how your DAW works. So do keep that in mind. By the way, let me ask a question out there since we have people watching. How many of you guys want to see videos on DAWs, like Pro Tools or Studio One or Reaper or Ableton Live? The reason I ask is because I have the opportunity now to start selling a lot of these titles online in my store, and I think it would be a good idea to start selling them because I don't have to actually stock them. I can sell them digitally, but I can back it up with products that would probably be a little bit, better as far as like the video presentations of how these products work. But I'd have to know from you guys, what do you think about that? Would you want to see some videos on how to use your pedals with your DAWs and just how to use the DAW in general? Would that be interesting to you guys? Because I need to know that kind of information because doing that is obviously a huge undertaking. And it also is pivoting the channel and the brand from what people have come to know me for, which are pedals. But would you want to see videos about how to use the DAW? How to use a particular DAW with pedals? Not free DAWs, obviously, because I don't do that. But I can sell the digital licenses for a lot of the DAWs now. It would be I'd love to see some videos on that stuff. I think a lot of the videos that are out there on DAWs are pretty awful, frankly, and it's not that they're bad DAWs at all. It's just that people don't present them properly. I think it turns into kind of a fustercluck, if you will, and it's very confusing. So let's see. I got some answers on that right away. Wow, everybody's being so cool, yo. Okay, let's see what we got here. That makes sense. I'll try it out. Okay, you have a bunch of... Okay, so Raider, yeah, try that out. Let me know if that works for you, my friend. Okay. $60 is the best price for a fully featured DAW. Okay, you want to see something for Reaper. Yeah, okay, that would be good. I think Reaper is fantastic. Reaper's been around for a while, actually, and I got to tell you, I've had a lot of fun using it. And I've used everything. I worked at Steinberg for several years back when it was Steinberg North America, not Steinberg Yamaha or Steinberg Pinnacle or Steinberg whatever. It was Steinberg North America. When we stood on our own 2 feet, we were about to actually go public, and then the .com bubble just went, blew up, and things went to shit at that point. Yeah, I worked there for a while, and I love Cubase at that point, but I'm not so crazy about it these days because I think it's kind of, it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. And Reaper has been a really good product to pick up the ball and run with it. And the fact that it's dual platform is also very useful too, because I also happen to be a big fan of Cakewalk. And now it's a free version of Sonar. It's a little different than it was before, but Sonar has always been like a really solid app for me. Logic. I used to use Logic when it was on the PC, if you can believe that. And wow, you want to talk about going into the weeds. You have no idea what Logic looks like today and what Logic looked like back then. Two completely different things. And so Reaper has been kind of the gift that keeps on giving. And Ableton is also really good too. Reason I don't like it as a DAW. I like it as a synthesizer program, but I do not like it as a DAW. I do not care for that look of it as a DAW. It's very confusing. And for people who are just getting into recording, I think it's terrible. So let's see. GarageBand. Yeah, GarageBand would be a good one. Um, I actually do wanted to make a whole series on using it with the iPhone, and I have a way of doing that. Would you like to see something on the iPhone? I don't actually have a Mac here, so it's a little hard for me to justify the expenditure to go out there and buy a Mac just to do videos on it. Mainly because, well, again, Apple's one of those companies. I think it's lost their luster a little bit. But I'm not saying that the programs are bad, not by a long shot. But it would be probably a good idea to go and explore that out a bit. But who knows? We'll see what we can do here. Okay. Mike says, I agree on the other DAW videos. Very confusing. Yep, exactly. See, here's the thing, guys. I used to do clinic tours. I used to go on the road and show people how to use DAWs on the road. And I've always wanted to bring the idea of a clinic back. Something that's like what we saw here, what we're seeing here, where the people are interacting and they're asking questions and they're getting into what I'm talking about here. And I think that the clinics or the videos that I'm seeing out there are just shit because they don't map the commonalities. Every DAW has commonalities, and I can help you guys figure all that out. I just need to know that there's people out there that are going to watch it, because it's a really long process to start putting together a curriculum to do all of that. I need to know that it's worth the time. We're getting to 13,000 views now, 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. Everything's building up very nicely on Facebook as well, and my Instagram game is starting to blow up a little bit more. I'm getting a lot more active there, and I think across all of that offers several opportunities to do more clinics for this. So just keep it all in mind. Let's see. They present them as a software instead of a music app. That's a good point, Ike. They just talk about the features and how do I use it in actually creating music. The same thing could be said for synthesizers. I hate synthesizer demos that don't tell you what they're doing. I don't know if you guys are down with synthesizers or not, but Eurorack is like a really big fascination with me. I love them. I love me some Eurorack. And Eurorack, wow, you can get so far in the weeds, but at the same time, the videos that I see, they don't even tell you how they're making the connections. They're just asking you to figure it out for yourself. And if you don't know how to use a Eurorack, you're basically up the creek without a paddle. And it's like a big giant middle finger to everybody to waste their time watching that kind of crap. It just bothers me a bit. But again, I think that's something that would be interesting because there's a synergy between pedals and synthesizers. One of the most popular videos on my channel is where I took a really crappy sounding Akai synthesizer, the Timberwolf. Anybody remember that one? I didn't think so. I used that and I put pedals into it, and it just went from like this little nasally sounding thing to like boom, really great sound out of that. And I got such a great response out of that. I never even touched the SEO since I've started really focusing on my YouTube game, because I never had to. There's like 30,000 views on that video, I think. And it's so much fun to use synths and pedals together. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and check that out. It's in the video library there, so you can check it out. Okay, so let's take a look here. See, free plugins that come with Reaper are top notch too. They're very usable. I agree with you. They are very usable. Plus, you can do portable installs with it from a USB drive. That's pretty awesome right there. They're not the first guys to actually have that, by the way. There was another company that Behringer bought. I forget the name of their app. I forgot what it was called. It wasn't Reaper. It was something else. But they had it was a USB. It came on a USB key, and you would just simply pop it in and it would go. So that was not a bad one to go with. Logic in 2001. Yeah. I'll just put it that way. You're talking about back when it was on PC. Oh man, what a mess that was. So I would watch that. Agreed, but I won't do it. So Logic is today. Hot Pole Studios has a pretty good Reaper video series. That's good to know. I'll have to go check that out. Thanks for the tip there, Major. Reaper Mania. Okay, so there's definitely a good community out there of Reaper fellows out there, and I think that wouldn't be a bad idea to go back and look at all that stuff. Was it Reason? No, it wasn't Reason. No, they don't own they don't own Propeller Heads. Propeller Heads is their own thing. Can you sequence with Reaper? Yes, you can sequence with Reaper. It has a MIDI sequencer built into it. So yes, you can do that. It'll fix your tire if you got a flat. So in fact, last month they were giving it away for free. In fact, one of my favorite synth companies is Arturia. I love Arturia synths. They are pretty fantastic stuff. And well, I know I'm showing the merchandise here. It's because my friend is the president of Arturia, and he comes by once in a while and bestows gifts upon me. I even have a face mask with the Arturia logo on it too, so I can be a walking commercial for him. Anyway, what time is it getting to be here? It is getting to be 1:25, so it's probably time to start wrapping this up. Unless anybody's got any last minute questions, I have to probably have to wrap it up here because I've got to actually bake quite a bit today because it's the day before Easter, and I'm making what's known as churek, which is a Mediterranean bread. It's an Easter bread. And if you go and buy it at Armenian delis here, bakeries, you're gonna spend something like $30 on a loaf, whereas I can make it for quite a bit less. And there's nothing quite as awesome as making your own stuff. So that's my afternoon. And I got my first shot of the Moderna vaccine. I hope you guys are scheduling your appointments to go get your vaccine. I kicked somebody off the channel yesterday because he asked a question that I was happy to want to answer, but his little logo on his YouTube channel was "COVID is a hoax," and so to you, if you happen to be watching this, it's not. So there you have it. Okay. All right. So guys, time to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back next week. And there'll be new stuff to talk about as always. And so we will say goodbye, good luck, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Okay? Thanks.